For more on today's historic announcement on the Voice to Parliament, let's bring in Dean Parkin. He's director of the From the Heart campaign. Dean, big player now in the Yes campaign as well, of course. What did you make of that news conference with an emotional Prime Minister who says he's all in when it comes to this?
Yeah, that was really important to hear, Kieran. The idea that the Prime Minister, the Cabinet and the Government is fully committed now to the referendum on constitutional recognition through a voice. A big moment with the release of the words and the question and some principles. And I think that gives the Australian public now more clarity about what's being asked of them, and that takes us to the next step, which is the campaign between now and the referendum.
So what happens now from your perspective in terms of where do you take the campaign? I know you're not the politician. You're the campaigner on behalf of this. So where does it go to?
Yeah, well, obviously, firstly, the referendum bill will be submitted to the Parliament next Thursday, which is another big step. And while the politicians and everybody else does their job here in Canberra in making whatever changes might be to that, we will turn our focus to the Australian people. We know that there's great appetite from people to learn more about what is being proposed, what they're going to be asked of in the referendum itself. So it's really important that our focus is out there with individuals and communities out on the ground, because we want all Australians to participate in a really informed way, so that when it comes to the vote, people absolutely know what they're voting on, and when they do, we think they'll vote yes.
There's not bipartisanship yet at the federal level. We know at the state level there is, with Sir Dominic Perrottet and the other state figures in the Liberal Party in government, Tasmania also backing it. Not federally yet. Would you like to see bipartisanship, if that can be achieved, maybe with some tweaking in the wording in terms of the constitutional amendment?
Yeah, obviously our objective always has been to try and achieve bipartisanship. We do have a level of bipartisanship on this. The coalition still does support this idea of recognising Indigenous peoples in the Constitution. That is a continuing commitment from the coalition. And the opposition leader, Peter Dutton, has said he does support the need for a voice. So we think the parts are there. We've seen also with the government being able to achieve a level of bipartisanship on the referendum machinery bill that passed last night. I think we should just watch this space and see if there is further opportunity for real bipartisanship to emerge before the final referendum bill.
One of the concerns that's come from within the Liberal Party, and certainly from outside the Liberal Party as well, from legal experts that I've spoken to, who support the voice, who are very strong supporters of the voice, but think that the reference to executive government is flawed, that it should not be that reference, that it maybe could be the Parliament and ministers could be the reference as opposed to executive government, and therefore avoid any catch of public servants within that change as well.
Yep.
Do you have any such concerns? Have you heard those concerns expressed to you?
I've certainly been guided by what some very serious legal experts have been saying for a very long time. They were involved in the government's process. They've been advising both the Attorney General and the working group. They've had their say. They've absolutely raked over every single word, comma and full stop that was announced today. I understand that these are contested spaces, and probably all the way up to the referendum, people will be having their say as to what should or shouldn't be in. But I've got confidence in the process that has led us to this point, in the experts that have been involved, and that we've got a very strong, practical and a workable and, importantly, a winnable provision to put to the Australian people.
Dean Parkin, on a momentous day, regardless of what happens for the rest of the year, I appreciate your time. Thanks.
Thanks a lot, Kieran.